Hi guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob Connor here once again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the Never Back Down movie DVD complete collection, which obviously consists of three films. I don't know if there was a fourth. I don't think there was. I think they only ever made three. But sometimes I always have to. I don't know if any of you guys are the same that watch these videos, but do you ever get a thing where you have to keep checking? Because I watch so many franchises and got so many DVDs and got so many sequels, because I always try and get the sequels to all the films so I can do, obviously these videos and obviously because I can have them to watch. I'll always try and, when I'm doing these videos, I have to double check to see if I've got them all, and I think to myself, is there any more? And because you always have to update, because they're always making sequels, aren't they, for a lot of different franchises. And I'm thinking to myself, do I have to check? I always have to double check a lot of things. Sometimes some films are adding, sometimes you always have to Google to make sure they haven't made any more, because they're always adding, and some stuff are adding it sometimes you don't even know of. And it's a start because I've got loads of DVDs, loads of movies and franchises. And I have to always keep double checking to see if I've got more. I think there is only three. But anyway, yeah. So three that I know of. And if there is three, don't think they'll make any more. There's a chance that they might. Don't think they will. Obviously, the first one, obviously, is by Momentum Pictures, which are obviously not the biggest film company in the world, but they make a few odd cool ones now and again. And obviously this DVD copy is the Beatdown edition, which is like it's got an alternative angle fight mode, blah blah blah, breaking down the fights, deleted scenes, or a trailer. It's like sort of a better version of the original. I think it's also more like sort of, I don't know, is it sort of more actiony? Was it sort of toned down when it was like first? Oh, I'm not too sure. Anyway, it might just be the extras. But I don't know. I remember seeing a trailer back when it first came out. I think it was like, I keep thinking if it's 2007 or 2008, but I think it's 2008 when it came out. But I do remember the trailer for it. I'm sure there was a trailer, I remember seeing it on TV, and I remember thinking I wanted to see it. And I remember when it was released on DVD, they were saying like Beatdown edition was better or something anyway. But anyway, it's a better edition obviously obviously it's based on sort of like UFC. I mean, if you know what UFC is, you obviously know about this, and obviously Never Back Down is sort of based on it. However, it's not. Obviously, it's got. I think it's. I don't think there's any actual MMA fighters in it. Because obviously the mentor can't pronounce his name. Is it Digimon Hunsai or someone? I can't think of the guy's name. This guy here, I can't pronounce his name. I'm really bad at pronouncing certain names, and I apologise for that. But this guy here is obviously an actor. He's not an MMA fighter. He's an actor, but he plays the MMA trainer. And obviously, the guy's fighting. I don't think any of them UFC actual real fighters or not. There might be, but I'm not too sure. I don't think there is. I know there is real MMA fights in the second one, and I think in the third, but there isn't any in this that I know of. So they're just basically, the actors are just basically playing guys that do UFC and MMA. So obviously it's the same thing. And then obviously the guy ends up you know, training and wanting to become an MMA fighter, so he can obviously take on the villain. Obviously gets into a feud with, and then obviously wants to train to be an MMA fighter, and then they have fight, big fight, you know, at the end. And it is a really good film actually. I've seen it quite a few times now, and it is actually really good to film. I think in general it's a good watch. It's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be the movie of the decade or the year. But it's just a good watch. You know, I like the story and I like all the characters that are in it, or most of them. Some of them are a bit lousy, but the main characters are quite good. And I think it is generally good all the way through. As I said, I like getting to know the characters and I like how the story builds, and I like a lot of the good scenes of the fighting scenes. And yeah, I like how it sort of builds up towards the film, and it's a good sort of actiony thriller type sort of film, and a lot of fighting is really good, and I really do like it. And I say, yeah, it's got a good length as well. It's not too long and it's not too short. It's just about right. Now the second one, now I do apologise for this because this is a very bad quality. This is actually one that was made on the computer, sort of released, and then because I just bought this and someone made it, I basically just copied it onto a disc and then made the cover. It's a really bad copy. I really need to replace it with an actual proper DVD cover. I still don't know why I haven't done that, to be honest. I think because I'm always doing other stuff and I've got so much other stuff to get, like when I'm buying stuff there's almost so much to buy or sort out, and sometimes you just don't get round to getting it, but I do really meaning to get around to getting a proper DVD cover, because this is just a rubbish copy. But anyway, let's go back to actually talking about it. So obviously Never Back Down 2, The Beatdown. I can't remember if it was put in the cinema or if it was just a DVD straight release. I'm sure the first one was at the cinema, but I think the second one just got released DVD. I can't remember because it's going back. I think it's 2010, I think. Obviously this is the unrated copy, and obviously this actually does, unlike the first, the second one does actually contain UFC and MMA fighters. As I say, I'm really bad at pronouncing in some of these names. Lyoto Machida and Todd Duffy, two actual proper MMA fighters. And it also stars Michael Jai White, who is a very, very good actor in action films. He's been in a few good action films, and he's really, really good actually in it. And he's his fighting and acting is really convincing. He's actually really, really good. And he's really good in this. Michael Jai White, very, very good, and his fighting is really good. I think he actually can fight in real life and actually train to be a fighter, you know. And so yeah, it's UFC. It's more UFC based rather than this just being like college students training to be UFC fighters. This is actual proper UFC people in it. You know, played by the actual characters. And obviously, it's sort of similar situation where they're sort of. I think there actually are they at sort of like a. I'm not sure if they're at college or they're at some place where they're staying and then they're sort of searching for the tournament. So that's quite like this, where they're sort of searching for a beatdown tournament type thing, and this is what they're sort of doing the same thing. And again, they are training like they do in the first, but as I said, it's just the fact that it's more based proper actual UFC and MMA fighters rather than just being like college students. But it's sort of the same sort of thing. They're sort of all training, and I think there is a guy or a couple more guys that are training to actually be UFC fighters. But these guys are already UFC. But yeah, and like I said, it's actually really good. In some ways, it's better than this because it's more proper UFC style, and a lot of the fights, especially towards the end, the big fight is proper UFC fighting in a cage. It's not just like in a pit with no cage. It's proper stuff that's in a cage, and somewhat aspects better than the first, but then it's sort of weaker in other areas where it's not like a blockbuster like, well, it's been at the pictures like that. It's sort of a bit weaker in terms, but other than that, you know, the fighting is good and it's quite good all the way through. And it's alright. Now going on to the third. The third is probably the weakest of the three. I think that can easily be said. Never Back Down, the third one. Now, try and pronounce this. Ma Arendas, which I think this is, because this is a copy that I got from Italy. You can see it there. This is sort of like an import, because you can't, when I tried to get it, I couldn't get it in sort of USA or over here. I don't think you can get it over here, well, not that I know of. Or sometimes it was a lot dearer. I think I paid about £8 or £9 for it. It's quite expensive. You can't get cheap copies of these because a lot of them are like imports coming from, as I said, this one's from Italy, but this one from like, I don't know, maybe like from Australia or Spain or Ukraine, or I don't know, but a lot of places that selling these really expensive because it's coming overseas. Because it seems to be something where you can't. The situation might change since I bought it, but I bought it when I couldn't get it right. It's cheaper than that, about £9 or £8 or £9. I couldn't get it cheaper than that because it was like coming import. So I got this one from Italy. This is an Italy copy. I think that's why it says that. I think it's a different name than the one that's got. I think the one in America might be a different name under that. Never Back Down. It might be something else, but I'm not too sure. But as I said, it took me quite a while to actually get this. Because again, I think that the price at the beginning when I saw one was too expensive, didn't want to pay as much as that. But then I settled on, couldn't get it lower than about £8 or £9, so I just got it. I saw it, I think, a few years after it actually come out, so I was quite late seeing it. Yeah, but when I finally got round to getting it, I got it, and I've seen it a couple of times now. And obviously, again, it stars Michael J. White back again, and he's really, really good. Again, as I said, his fight is really good, and his acting is okay as well. And it also stars Josh Hartnett and S.A. Morales. And as I said, it's quite weak compared to the other two, and it's not very good at really. It's quite weak in places. I mean, there's a few bits that are alright. The last battle scene is not very good at all. And it's quite a bit of a letdown where you're going to think it's going to be, there's no big massive tournament. It just comes down sort of like a fight outside the ring, and it doesn't end into a big, sort of quite a letdown fight. It's alright, but it's not great, and it's just outside of the ring, and it just lasts about 5 or 10 minutes. It's very short. And yeah, there's no big like climax of it finishing in a massive finish in a cage, or there's no massive tournament yet, so it's quite a bit of a letdown. But that being said, it's just alright. It's just something that you just might want to watch during the week or a Friday night. It's not a massive blockbuster for a Saturday, and it's just alright. And as I said, some of the bits are alright, and some of the fighting, but it's quite weak. It doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up even against the second, and certainly not first. But I say, some of the fighting is alright. And if you like UFC, you'll probably like it anyway. But it's very weak in a lot of areas. But, so guys, that is pretty much the end of this video. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for lots more vids, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Take care, bye for now, see you soon.